Good morning. I know you'll probably see this afternoon, so that's quite alright. But I actually want to apologize because I have not been on our game. So this week is a new week. You're gonna get a video every day of this week. And I hope that today you read your devotion, which is Proverbs 14. If you didn't know, we're following the Proverbs, so one proverb a day, and we read that day's proverb. Like today is May 14th, so I'm going to read Proverbs 14. And I encourage you to read all of it. But today we're going to focus on Proverbs 14:12, which, if you're familiar with it, it says, "There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death." And a lot of times, when we think of that verse, maybe you haven't thought about it, but a lot of people think of that verse and they're like, okay, my ways, my human, imperfect ways, I understand they're not correct, but we just leave it there. We just think it's like saying, oh, ABC, next letter is D. But we don't think about the rest of the alphabet. We don't think about how the alphabet creates words and creates phrases and creates a way to communicate into. I'm just trying to say, you've got the first couple of pieces, but you don't dive in deep. So when you read the scripture, it says there is a way that seems right to you. And when you read this, you'll know that way is incorrect. It'll lead you to death. But we stop there. We don't think about, okay, if this is the way to death, what is the way to life? Well, if we look at Micah, which I just lost, I'm very upset with myself because I just let it go because I got into what I was saying. But if you look at Micah 6:8, it says, let me grab it. It says, "He has shown you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." So, just take those three. To do justly. So, do right by somebody. They're going to do you wrong, but you do right by them. You don't throw shade. You don't say things you shouldn't be saying. You do right by them, regardless of what they're throwing at you. You love mercy. You love the person that's next to you, and when they do you wrong, you say, "I forgive you, and I will move on." And you walk humbly with your God. What does humility ask of you? Humility asks that, not that you look down on yourself. A lot of people get that confused. Humility is about you considering everyone else above yourself and putting yourself in a position where this is you, this is everybody else. And God doesn't see it that way. But when you humble yourself and when you have this mentality, you start treating people a different way. You start talking a different way. You start respecting, and your entire atmosphere and personality changes when you don't think you're better than someone else. And maybe you're thinking about a student in school or a family member who you generally don't like, genuinely do not like. But the same way that we are loving towards our parents or towards our siblings or towards that best friend, maybe you don't like your family, but you have a best friend and you love that best friend. Well, that person that you absolutely do not like, the Bible calls us to be humble towards them, to love them, to do right by them, to be merciful towards them, regardless of their personality, their traits, their beliefs, the way they dress, the things that they say that trigger you. So, if you get anything from this, it's that the things that you jump to, that your body, that your reactions say, oh, you gotta do because this person just straight up looked at you wrong and now you gotta beat them up. That way is is going to lead you to death. But God's way of doing right by somebody, by loving somebody, by being humble towards your peers, towards your God, because you do everything unto God. That's what you need to take out of this. And you might not be able to implement this right away. It might be hard. It might be a long process for you to be comfortable to do this. But if you do it over and over, we might fall and we might stumble. But if we get up and keep on trying, He's not going to take that for granted. God's not going to see that and say, oh, he failed. Oh, she failed. That's not right. God will see your value. God will see your, whatever the word is for trying, your effort. So, love you guys. I'm sorry that I missed an entire week. But I hope you got something out of this. I hope that you ended here. And if you did, I want you to comment or text me with a GIF of SpongeBob, because then I'll know that you saw this.